Southwest Hot Chefs and Restaurants is brought to you in part by Jen Air, where innovation has finally caught up with your appetite for the extraordinary.
Welcome to Builder's Source Appliance Gallery in Albuquerque. Today my guest is Ariane, and she's coming to us from Cervantes Food Products line.
Right.
And I'm excited to work with you because when you come, it's fresh, it's healthy, and it's spicy and yummy.
And it's fast.
And it's fast,
And it's
yeah.
fast. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what have you brought to make for us today?
We're going to make carnitas with our Cervantes jalapeno salsa. So what we'll do, as you can see, it's a really lean cut of meat. So we're going to add just a little bit of oil to not completely cover the bottom of the pan, but just enough to provide a little
because that is lean.
Fat.
That is
right,
really lean.
Exactly. And what we do is we like to trim things out. Yeah, because, you know, healthy eating calls for trimming back on your fats.
Yeah.
It also calls for trimming back on your salts. But you can still enjoy great, bold flavors.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so this is that.
We're on.
Yeah.
We're on.
We're working in a Jen Air kitchen at Builder's Source Appliance Gallery, and this one is so great. It's a slide-in range, and it's seamless. So you can put this in your island, yeah, and it great for just everybody gathering around and being able to cook, kind of family style, have everybody around.
Well, the nice thing about this, there you go.
I like this way better where I'm waiting.
The nice thing is that you notice that the pan was just a little cooler than it needed to be. You don't get that big sizzle in the meat right away. Just crank it up.
Yeah.
And there you are.
Now
we're cooking.
Now we are cooking.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to thoroughly brown the meat. We'll add a little seasoning to it while we're here.
Okay. What seasonings are you adding?
Just, some very basic, simple seasonings. Granulated garlic. Okay. A little bit of pepper. Now, I like a little coarser pepper. You can use a fine grind on the pepper, but just a little bit. Okay. Just so that you have enough to season your meat. And Ginger, if you would help me, we need to be warming up some tortillas. But you know what? You haven't had a single sample of our salsa.
Okay, last year that was my favorite part. You bring chips and salsa. You're the only one that does this, and you have it right here on set, and I get to try it. Now, when you poured these, I think this was the green chili.
Green chili.
And this was medium jalapeno. Okay.
Right.
All right.
And the difference really is just the type of peppers that we use. The jalapenos, we use 2 varieties of onions, jalapenos. The green chili salsa, we only use New Mexico grown green chilies. That's true for all our products that use either red chili or green chili. So
I can't decide which one I like better, so I'm just going to
keep eating.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Again. Okay.
And what I've used here is as we mentioned, a trimmed out pork roast.
Okay.
Now pork roast. Now that doesn't mean you have to use pork roast. I cut it in small little chunks. You can use a pork loin.
And this recipe can be found on southwesthotchefs.com.
Right.
You can try to make it yourself. And on your website, on CervantesSalsa.com, you have a place where there are recipes that people can use the products that you have from your product line and try them. But you also have a place where people can submit their own recipes.
Right.
I love that.
We encourage that. We encourage that a lot because, traditionally we use our products for enchiladas, tamales, breakfast burritos, things of that nature. But you'd be surprised at some of the creativity that our customers have with our product line. Yeah. And so we've had some submissions that I never in a million years would have thought that somebody would incorporate our product in that particular dish, but it works for them. We love the fact that they bring us new ideas. Yeah. So you know what? Let's add some Cervantes jalapeno salsa. Okay. We're going to add about a half a jar. So you're pouring your salsa.
It's hot.
It is
not that hot.
No. It catches up to you.
It doesn't hurt.
No. No,
that's just right. See, I like that. That's the kind of hot I like. I like hot.
So what happens is that when we say hot, we make items that are very easy on the palate. They're delicious. They have bold flavors, but they're not going to be so hot that you can't taste everything that's going on.
Yeah, that's how I like
dish.
it. It's not so hot that all you're thinking about is how hot it is.
Right.
You're thinking, oh, I taste that chili and the fresh tomato and the pepper. Like you really get a sense of the flavors. So,
are you going to warm some tortillas
for
us? Oh, awesome. Okay, so this is...
You got to stay on me, I'm okay in the kitchen, but
you just like chips and salsa, so there you go. So we're going to let this reduce for a little bit.
So easy.
Yeah. So we're going
to
let
as you
this...
can tell, that's right up my alley. Easy's
well,
up my alley.
Lives are busy.
Yeah.
And we don't always have time to make things from scratch. This allows you to get dinner on the table quickly for your family, and then you can have a little bit of time for yourself in the evening.
Well, and the nice thing is, I don't know about you, I'm New Mexican, and you have a lot of friends that move away. and they watch the show online or whatever, and they start thinking, man, I miss my New Mexico food.
And they start calling you to send some to them?
Yes. Hey, at Christmas, can you please send me X, Y, and Z?
Right.
But they can go to your website.
Absolutely. CervantesSalsa.com. We have all our products. We also have some gift concepts. We have packages where they can get 4 jars, 8 jars, 12 jars. We have some smaller little sampler jars. So it's really a nice place to get that traditional New Mexico flavor for family and friends who live out of town.
Send them the gift basket, right?
There you go.
Okay, you told me how to do this before we started, and
Yeah.
you looked really confident that I could do it.
Oh,
I appreciate that.
I am.
I like that about you. You let me help.
So this, as you can see, it's thickened up a bit, right?
Yeah.
Now you can let it reduce even further. If you let it reduce even further, the meat really absorbs the flavor of that salsa.
Okay.
But for now, I think we're good. Turn this guy off. And then, of course, these are soft tacos. We're using flour tortillas today.
Okay.
We can use
You
corn.
could use corn, right?
Yeah, for sure. It depends on your own taste.
My mother-in-law is gluten intolerant, so she makes hers with
Oh, does she?
corn. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you go.
Okay.
You want a little bit more?
Sure, why not?
Why not? Okay. Now you want to garnish with a little bit of
You said
your
cheese
first,
right?
Right.
Because it melts.
Mm-hmm.
On there, nice. This is a really generous plate. Healthy, but lots of healthy food, you know. And I notice I keep putting more cheese on.
Yeah, you're going healthy. Now,
All
did
right.
you want a little bit more salsa on that?
You know it. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put a little bit more salsa on there for you. Just so that you can have that really rich. You know, one thing about our you want to do with our salsas too that really brings out the full flavor of the ingredients, put it in your refrigerator for about 30-40 minutes before you serve it up.
Yeah.
You know, just put it in the fridge and then you serve it nice and chilled, and it really pulls out the full flavor of the tomatoes, the jalapenos, the 2 varieties of onions, and the tiny bit of cilantro.
That's a good idea. Oh, use a tiny bit of cilantro.
Very little.
Yep. It's subtle. It's really subtle.
Well, and cilantro is a type of ingredient that if you use too much, it can be overpowering.
All right, here
Well,
we go.
there you go.
Wow. Fresh, flavorful.
It's the other white meat.
Yeah, but cooking it in the meat,
Right.
and then adding the salsa on top gives it such beautiful flavor.
Now, that's not to say that you can't use a Cervantes salsa with ground beef, with chicken. This is just one example of how the Cervantes salsa can work nicely with pork.
I love having you on the show.
Thank you.
Guilt-free yumminess. Oh, you'll come back, I hope.
I will.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So good. Got to try this one.